I am, again, just amazed at just how, God brings everything together. And I want to welcome our next guest, LaCarrie Jackson, to join me because God was like, okay, now you're scratching the surface, all right? You're just scratching the surface. So a few years later, I meet this amazing woman. You can come on and join me on stage. I met this always. I'm actually going to have her share how we met. You look beautiful. Welcome. I am going to really kind of start this conversation off with how we met because, again, one time in prayer, I came up with this tagline. I said, follow God, he'll take you places, okay? Follow God and he will take you places. So we know, okay, we're becoming the Amazon of hair. All right, so we keep building. And I got into just a few years, it was still very slow. I'm going to just put it that way. You have big vision, but it's not really happening yet. So it feels slow. The faith is faithing, right? Pushing you day by day. So I was like, okay, Lord, what do I do while I'm waiting for this to pop off, right? So I decided to, a couple of things. One of them was an urgent decision because I had to figure out how to earn money, honestly. When, you're putting more into your business than is coming out at the time. Can anyone relate to that? Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. So I decided to serve, right? So I was like, okay, well, what is my most valuable asset? And I was like, my knowledge. I can really, and at the time, a lot of entrepreneurs were asking, questions and needed help with their businesses. So I started a consulting firm and started running business programs. But I also had the opportunity to really think about how could I serve God with my gifts as well. And I was kind of having like an identity crisis at the time because I felt like, I know I'm a tech entrepreneur, right? But I'm feeling led spiritually right now, and I'm feeling like I need to go into ministry. But I know, like, some people say I'm a pastor, but I don't, see myself in that way. It's like I'm not going to be out here preaching on the streets or anything. I'm like, okay, God, how can I use my gift in a unique way? And I literally got a message from Apostle Deborah Lee Barrett, who connected us. She's the founder of Catapult Global, who started these mission trips to go to different countries. And you all know what the mandate was? To transform the nation. And I'm like, what? And she asked me, would I be interested? And I was like, okay. I was like, how can my gifts be used? And she said it was in the area of entrepreneurship. So at the time, in the nation of Uganda, there were very few sustainable businesses at the time, and actually over 78% of the population is under 30. So the need at the time was to basically help young people grow and start and grow businesses. And that's how LaCarrie and I are aligned, because I would love for you to introduce yourself and how we met. Because I was waking up, one morning from ministry, I log into Zoom, and then I meet LaCarrie, and I'm like, whoa, God is doing something. So please introduce yourself and how we met.
Well, first, let me say thank you for the invitation. I am super excited to be here with you, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Like, you're doing some big things, and I celebrate you.
Thank you so much.
So, hello, everyone. My name is LaCarrie Jackson, and I'm just, a person who loves to come in and help others and to find a way, to your point, of how to take what I have to be able to help someone else to get to where they're trying to go. And I happen to be at Life Center Ministries. It's a church out in Dunwoody, when they showed a commercial, and the commercial was talking about Catapult Global and this, come learn about Uganda. And I'm like, Uganda, wait a minute, I'm doing some things in Uganda. I have some initiatives that I'm doing out there. So let me see what's going on. And so when I joined the training, first of all, I totally forgot that I signed up to, join the webinar. But nevertheless, when I joined the webinar, Candace, you were the one that was presenting when I joined. And she was talking about what Catapult Global does in Uganda. And then when she started getting into the entrepreneurship, the businesses, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm doing some of the exact same things. And because I have, a large part of what I like to do as well is open doors for others. So based on the relationships that I build, based on the connections that I have, I love to take those connections and link it to others who may need maybe information or maybe some help. I like to fill in the gaps if that makes sense. And as Candace, as you were presenting, I'm thinking, I have a partner organization in Uganda that would really be amazing if Candace and Apostle Deborah would even entertain the idea. And I remember putting a note in the chat. I think Apostle Deborah was printing. Yeah, and I put a note in the chat, and I'm like, I would love to talk to you. And I revealed at that time, because I have my own personal initiatives that I do on the continent of Africa with empowerment, as well as other continents. But I revealed in the chat, I said, I'm with UPS, because I felt like she'll believe me. Like, I'm with UPS, and I'm doing some things around the globe, and I want to talk to you about some things that I know in Uganda, some connections that I have. And I really did not think that I would get a call back. I didn't even think that you guys would reach out, just because anybody could be on Zoom saying anything. And so I wasn't really sure where it was going to go. But Candace, you ended up reaching out to me. I gave you my email address and everything. Mm-hmm. And I can say that was the beginning of something that was so beautiful, because we were in the early part of COVID, and it turned out that Candace was very interested in hearing what I had to say, as well as Apostle Deborah. They wanted to learn more, and it turned out that it was like for a whole year we met once a week and walked with the partnership that I have in Uganda, just talking about empowering others, learning more about the financial literacy and the access to capital space. So it was kind of like, we were just walking together, and you all were learning a little more about the financial side of it. So again, it was just me wanting to see how I could help Candace as she presented. I'm like, how can I help in this space? Because I have some connections.
Absolutely, yes. So LaCarrie serves as the head of global social impact for UPS. And I'm a type of person, again, you got to know how your brain works, right? My brain starts connecting the dots, right? So at the time, we went in 2019 was our first trip. I do a entrepreneurs boot camp in Uganda. And 2019 was our first year. Obviously, since COVID happened in 2020, we couldn't return for a couple years, actually. So we ended up doing a virtual academy. And I think when we were presenting about just our initiatives, that's how we connected. But what I noticed in coaching the entrepreneurs, and ultimately, again, as I'm thinking through the industry too, there are a lot of challenges around logistics, distribution, transportation, right? So a lot of it, when I see some connections, I'm like, okay, let's talk more, right? Because the other great thing about LaCarrie and her role is she has a heavy emphasis on economic empowerment for women. And there were a lot of women entrepreneurs in the boot camp. And if you think our ecosystem is fragmented here in Atlanta, in Kampala, in Uganda, I mean, the ecosystem is yet to be established truly, right? Like well-functioning markets, they have great ecosystems. And so what I realized what I was doing was trying to help create the ecosystem, right? Like, and LaCarrie also had a relationship with Opportunity Bank because obviously the greatest need for many of us entrepreneurs is access to capital, right? So again, I'm trying to connect the dots. I'm like, okay, how can this work together? And God just kept leading us. And so LaCarrie ended up joining our next trip there, right? Is the next one an image or a video? I want to make sure it's an image. Image? Okay, if you can go to the next slide. So when we finally returned, I believe it was 2023. Yes. So this is when we finally returned. Myself, LaCarrie, and Alice in the middle. She is at Opportunity Bank because, listen, we're trying to get to the money. This is basically us trying to figure out how to get to the money. And so we had a business forum for the Mountain of Business in Uganda. So just like how we're sitting with you all, we were sitting in a room of entrepreneurs and business leaders and pretty much discussing the same thing, right? So one thing leads to another. So I do another boot camp there, right? Do a boot camp with entrepreneurs. Guess what the first question I get is? Is that your real hair? All the questions were hair related. I gave a whole business presentation and they asking about my hair. They didn't even think that it was real. I was wearing a big curly fro, like kind of similar to this picture. And they're just like, they want their hair to be like this. They want their hair to be like this. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, well, yes, we can analyze your hair, but how are we going to get the products to you? That's the biggest thing. That was the biggest issue because when we look at the products that are carried there, they're not good, meaning the ingredients are terrible. And they're really getting the bottom of the barrel, to be honest. And I was like, okay, that's the step number one. We have to get you all some quality hair care products. And so, one thing leads to another, and I'm like, okay, let's talk about how we're going to do this. And I promise you, as believe, receive, it just came together just like that. So a woman who's in ministry with us told me something about a mall space. And the mall space, I think that there's a place for Myavana there. And God showed me the full picture. So not only will we transform into retail, but we're going to start distributing these products in the motherland, starting in Uganda. And our first Myavana retail store, y'all ready for the Apple Beauty Tech version of hair care? Okay, so this is a special announcement we're sharing as well, but LaCarrie was there on the ground floor. This same trip, we went into this space, and the Lord, said that this was our new frontier. So we claimed it in prayer, and we've been working on it ever since. It's been a year. So are y'all ready to see it? This is the first time we're ever showing it, okay? But we've been working on this for a while. All right. Next video. This was the catapult team at the store under construction. So let's see there's LaCarrie. All right, you can play it.
Welcome to Myavana Uganda retail store. My name is Alex Tumushabe, the retail operations manager, Myavana Uganda. We are so excited to have Myavana open their first store in Uganda because there has been a need for women in Africa to have health hair solutions. Myavana is a personalized hair care system. It consults with their customers about their hair goals, analyzes their hair care journey, and recommends products and ingredients personalized to them. This will save Ugandans from spending a lot of money in trying to figure out what products work for their hair. I love the hair science that Myavana is bringing to Ugandans. An individual's hair is as unique as their fingerprint. Little did we know, because there are scenarios whereby you look at somebody with very beautiful hair and you also go and ask what products they've been using on their hair, and you also want to use it. Whatever somebody uses on their hair and it works for them, it might not work for your hair. For so long, people have hidden themselves in wigs, in so many other hairstyles. But this is an opportunity for the African and the Ugandan women to invest in growing their real hair. Because one thing I have understood and learned is that Myavana has what it takes. And this is all we've been waiting for. This is where we are going to be doing the hair analysis from. When the customers come, there will be our customer care representatives. And then we'll be able, when you come, we're able to take a picture of your hair, and then we put it into the system, and the system is able to help us retrieve the type of products they're supposed to be that are applicable to your hair. We are located at Arena Mall, Nsambia, shop number 7. You can always check us out. I mean, we can't wait to see what Myavana offers. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Candice, our CEO. Thank you so much, Candice. Thank you so much, Myavana. May God richly bless you. Bye-bye. We love you.
That's what faith will do. That's all I can tell you guys. So now we can distribute these products to consumers who need it in different regions. So the Uganda stores is first, due to our ministry work there. And so I would love to hear your perspective of you have seen it from another perspective, but now from a perspective of partnership, because to share where we're going with this, empowering women economically is such a passion of mine, but to see how we can do that through beauty is just, it's a no-brainer to me, but also empowering entrepreneurs, period. I think there's so much that we can do once we see, where the need is. So what's your perspective in just the economic empowerment side from a beauty industry in Uganda and just as a whole? Because you've sown so much in training entrepreneurs as well.
So, first of all, this is it's game changing. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I really, I know in the USA it's game changing, but when you're talking about outside of the USA and bringing something so special and so unique to Ugandans, you don't understand how many barriers you're breaking, okay? So first of all, economic empowerment is incredibly important anyway. I don't have to really stress or go into details. I think you all pretty much know that. But for me, I take it to heart because of my life experiences, and I grew up in a single parent household. So I know the struggle. I know what my mom went through just to take care of me and her, and working 3 jobs and making sure we had what we needed. And so when you're talking about taking this and carrying it over, when I say this, empowering women, and you're carrying that to another country, first of all, you have to think about the cultural barriers that are in place. There are barriers that are there culturally, for women. Some women do not even have their own bank accounts. That's just the way life is there. Or you may not necessarily be able to move and shake the way that you want, to be able to get loans even, unless your husband signs for it. Mm-hmm. Or you need collateral, and you don't have collateral. So how are you going to really make moves and to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and really get to another place? So what you are bringing and what you are literally offering to those in Uganda is game changing. And also, you have to think about this. A lot of times, it's easy to say they're Africans or they're women, and so they're strong and they can do this and do that. But many times when you really get down to it and you talk to them, they have lost hope. They don't have their dignity. And to know that an American, or anyone, but an American is thinking about them, and that they have not been forgotten, and that they are loved, because they look at it as what you're doing is bringing a solution. Mm-hmm. Yes. that equates to love, that we have not forgotten about them. So it's just so many barriers that you're breaking. And so when we think about empowering women, and even some of the things that I'm doing at UPS, like, I mean, you know, the work that I'm doing, yes, is economic empowerment, but the majority of the money that I'm investing in the communities, like 12 million out of the 18 million that I'm investing for UPS, 12 million is going to women's economic empowerment. That shows you just how, not only how much is needed, but it shows you also how some companies are taking it serious to be able to back it up. So, and you're talking, when we think about even the beauty, the industry of beauty and cosmetics, when I was with the women entrepreneurs in Uganda recently, just the thought of them being able to have a hair salon.
Yeah.
There was one.
A hair salon.
Yeah, they just want a hair. And there was one, I have a picture on my social media page where I was in her hair salon. Like she only had one hair, the hair dryer. She only had one. But that village loved her and knew that she was the one who was going to make a way for them to be transformed. Just through hair. Guys, that's powerful.
It is.
And we have to look at it so we may think that on the surface that, okay, yeah, this is beauty. No, it is going deep and it is ministering to the women of Uganda, the women of Africa. So that is, it's something, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean, but it's so deep. It's deeper than I'm sorry. Anybody have tissue for Candace? But it's deeper than what we think. You have to hear it from a woman yourself, one who's a widow, one who is a single mother, one who didn't know what tomorrow is going to look like for her and her children. And so we're not going on about our lives here. Yes, we're living. But when we are literally coming up with solutions to help these women, they feel loved and not forgotten.
They really do. And thank you. Oh, yeah, I was trying to hold it to the end. But when I tell you, because you know how much African women are influenced by Western culture and our media, and they literally think that they're not beautiful and they need to look like what they're seeing on TV. A huge part about Myavana, and actually that was part of the What is Myavana? So this week we actually did a workshop with one of the founders of Blitzscaling. Anyone familiar with that book? He's one of the authors of Blitzscaling, Chris Ye. And he co-authored the book with Bill Gates and Reid Hoffman. And again, they profile these tech companies and how to build and blitz scale a market. That's how these massive companies grow, right? After I described Myavana, and I was saying, this is what we're trying to communicate to the market. Because again, my purpose is that I want people to experience the full picture of Myavana because you've only seen it in phases. You've only seen it in pieces. And I'm going to tell you what he said. And I was like, oh, you got it. You got it. And this is my why for Uganda. This is my why for our customers, period. But he said that, it was so good. He said, Myavana is the best way to be your most beautiful, authentic self. So when you're talking about transforming hair, right, a lot of what we're dealing with is women finally deciding to accept themselves, finally deciding not to reject themselves. Finally, when I knew I needed to start Myavana, it was because I felt like I had to look a certain way to be attractive. And I'm like, again, talk about barriers. there are a lot of mental and emotional barriers that we have as women that don't have nothing to do with business. You know what I mean, right? Just your self-worth as a woman. And so when I see, like you said, you hear it in their voice, you see it in their eyes. And I was like, yeah, we have to do something because, listen, the U.S. market is oversaturated right now, to be honest. We need to shift those products over here and start transforming their hair. We need to get the best stylists over there. In the Myavana store, we're going to have 2 shampoo bowls, by the way. So if you're trying to come on the Uganda trip, let me know, because we're going to be training up our teams and sending them out. And we're headed back to, the mission was return to rebuild. So that is what we're doing. And so, yeah, I had a moment. Thank you, LaCarrie. And so that is my why. So my last question before our next break is, seeing all that you've seen, right? Because you are a globe trotter, right? When it comes to this philanthropic work and kingdom work, really, right? Because, like I said, business is ministry to us. What would be your advice to entrepreneurs? Because the next step of where we're taking this as well is God gave us a prophetic blueprint for growing businesses in Africa. So we're going to start with Uganda, and we're going to continue. Like I said, the boot camps that I do, we're going to continue them, but this time it's going to be partnership-based. So this time, God wants us to pair U.S. and Uganda entrepreneurs to form business partnerships to expand their distribution to Uganda. So that's something we're going to be working on together as well. We're kind of still in the pilot phase. So what are you seeing, and what opportunities do you feel that entrepreneurs can maximize because are you all feeling the economy is shifting, right? That's what God is showing us. The economy is shifting. So we need to set our eyes on Africa. We need to set our eyes in the nation that God sends you to, right? There's a lot of work going anywhere, but we're starting there. So what are you seeing?
No, it's interesting that you mentioned that. So if you really pay attention, even just here in Atlanta, recently there have been quite a few visits from key people on the continent of Africa, whether it's, from Johannesburg in South Africa. The president of Kenya was here, I believe, like maybe 3 weeks ago. And so, but there have been so many events taking place here because actually they are coming over to see how we're doing business, how our entrepreneurs, like, what does this ecosystem look like? Atlanta is a hotbed, so they are learning from us. They want to learn from us. But then, too, they're coming also to say, listen, Africa is open for business. And we would love for your entrepreneurs to do business, with our entrepreneurs, or to, be able to expand their businesses to the continent. So I would say this: pay attention to a lot of events that take place in Africa, or they're taking place here in Atlanta, but talking about the continent and how you can do business there. There are key people who are at these events. These are free events to the public. And the way that a lot of times you can just look on social media and they're posted there. A lot of things are taking place at the gathering spot or some of the others. But like when we're talking about the chambers of commerce, pay attention to what they're doing. The South African Chamber of Commerce, the head of the chamber was here. He wanted to talk to entrepreneurs and business owners to see what type of businesses are you running and how can we support you and how can you support us. So I would just say, just be more aware of some of the things taking place in Atlanta, right, that will help you either network, be able to put your hands on, like, resources. And when I'm talking about resources, remember, resources is more than just money, right? There are other things. Sometimes it's, that one person that may connect you to some type of program or even to a person that will be able to give you key information about something that you have been trying to do or you've been wondering, all right? So any partnerships that I have, I always try to say, okay, so let's let's have a creative partnership. What could it look like? It may not necessarily always be money, but how else can I help you to get to where you're trying to go? And then too, as you look to, if you're looking to scale and to grow, so many free classes and resources and training. Candace, I know you have even your programs that you're doing, but it's so much that's out there for you. Now, as you scale and as you get bigger, I would caution you, please do not forget to, in a sense, like come out of yourself and to figure out what your social impact strategy is going to be. You need one. Right? I mean, yes, I get it. Companies are talking about CSR, which is, pretty much the same thing. But still, like, how can you give back? Because many people are giving to you and will continue to give to you as you blow up, as you get bigger. So what could your social impact strategy be? May not be anything big, but you could probably pick out one particular organization or whatever your passion is and sew back into that somehow. I don't know how, but there are different ways. But yeah, there's so many opportunities to network. And I mean, if you say, well, I just don't know, well, I mean, talk to me. I can tell you about a couple of events that's coming up, and even like some that we're doing here in Atlanta, even with the Fearless Fund. And then I have something coming up in Nigeria in August. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So your network is key. That's what I hear. And another valuable resource is relationships. I mean, just our relationship, right? I mean, you just never know. You never know where you're headed. Honestly, you really don't. But you just have to continue following your heart, following God. And I love how you said, what is your unique social impact strategy? Because the world needs some social impact, right? You see, my personal theory is this: the world is in the state of that it's in is because we're not using our gifts and our like we should be. So we need to bring it to the places that need it. It's taking us to Uganda, and I'm really excited to do this in partnership with you. And really, it's kicked this off, so stay tuned. The entrepreneurship pilot will be this fall, working with some organizations here. But yeah, let's start distributing in Africa, right?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a break for about 15 minutes before our next panel. We should have I believe some ice creams arriving. We're going to have a little ice cream break. We're going to get ready for our hair party later on. And make sure, again, you demo all the technology, share the link with your friends, and take your selfie photos. Please share it with the world. We're spreading Myavana, which is hair nirvana, the meaning of Myavana. My nirvana is here. So thank you so much, LaCarrie. And we'll break for about 15 minutes. Okay, so tell me one word to describe this experience so far. Inspiring. Okay, I love that. Any others? Electrifying. Yes, powered by Myavana. Listen, we not playing, okay? Okay, so the last part of our day is so special. Still introducing new partnerships, but also getting into the impact that we want to have in the hair and beauty industry. Yes, it's very much technology driven, but as you all heard with LaCarrie, very much rooted in social impact and self-love as well. Thinking about when we interviewed women about their hair care needs, all of them almost told us something that was going on in their life at the time. And we were complete strangers. But they felt the need to open up. And that's how we knew that these transformations were taking place, right? So not only their hair, but what was happening in their life and how they were evolving. So that's what our Hair Journey talk show conversation is going to be about. And then we'll get into our happy hour hair party and just declare it a great day, okay? So our next segment I'm so excited about I'm going to be welcoming two powerful beauty and fashion bosses that I have admired, that I have worked with, partnered with, but it continues to illustrate how Myavana is not only powering the hair industry, but we will move into other segments as well. So I want to welcome my guests to the stage, Ms. Claire Solmers joining us, the founder and CEO of Fashion Bomb Daily, and Mimi Johnson, the founder and CEO of The Glamatory and Grind Pretty. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. Beautiful dress, by the way.
Thank you. Beautiful suit.
Thank you. Listen, I had to come correct. I'm like, we're going to have Claire here, and Fashion Bomb Daily's coming. We got to look right. But this is the new Myavana uniform. Do you all love it? If you all see the ladies with the sparkling pink jackets, that's what we call Myavana girls. So we're going to make it a thing. But it's a part of looking and feeling our best, right? So that's what I really, really love about beauty and what I'm starting to appreciate about fashion. I was sharing earlier, I'm very much not a fashionista. My mom is, though. But I'm getting into it. But the beauty aspect and makeup, I didn't wear a lot of makeup until I became a beauty founder, and thought it was a chore, but now I'm into it. Now I'm understanding how to situate your authentic beauty, right? So I'm getting into it. So our conversation today, just continuing the theme of elevating and innovating the industry. I want to talk about what you both see in your segments of the industry with fashion and beauty, because we are at a turning point. Right, we're at this, really it's a turning point of transformation, and technology does transform every market. But before we dive in, I would love for you to introduce yourself. We know who you are from a public standpoint, but I always let people to introduce themselves and tell us who you are and why you are excited to partner with Myavana. We'll start there.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Claire Solmers. I am CEO and founder of Fashion Bomb Daily. We are one of the most influential style websites in the world. We have 2.2 million followers on Instagram, so if you're not following us yet, you should start following us today. And we're known as being the place where whenever somebody you love, any celebrity steps outside, you can come to Fashion Bomb Daily and find out what they have on and where you can buy it. I've also leveraged our platform to create opportunities for emerging multicultural designers. We created an e-commerce platform called Fashion Bomb Daily Shop, where we empower mostly solopreneur Black female business owners to reach a wider audience. So, for example, we took a woman, one of our designers, Sybille Guichard. She was designing shoes in her hospital bed. She has IBS, and she started designing shoes in her hospital bed. And because of Fashion Bomb Daily, she's placed her shoes on Cardi B and Drea Michelle. And so just creating opportunities for Black female entrepreneurs is one of my core missions. And I am so excited to partner with you with Myavana and with you, Candace, because we all know that you can have a great outfit, but what is it without the great hair and without the great makeup? And introducing more technology into what we do every day. I think you're at the forefront of this. And so I'm so excited to see where you go and also how we can lift and climb together.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm Mimi Johnson, Kansas City native. Go Chiefs. I'm a big football fan. Yeah. Moved here for college, went to Clark Atlanta University, and actually worked in IT at Accenture at a college.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes. Don't know how I got there because you go to college. Well, this is a new day and age, right? Because when we went to college, it was to get a job. And so I got a job. But my passion was always in art, and it was always with helping people. So I became a makeup artist. My story is kind of similar to Melissa, who was up here earlier. But I also went from corporate to being a makeup artist. And then I found that passion for the art turned into a purpose, and seeing how women felt when they left my chair, and I found a new purpose in helping women in different ways. So started a business called The Glamatory, which I had my own studio. I helped and mentored other makeup artists, and it became an incubator of, helping women. And while I had The Glamatory open, women started asking me questions that became not beauty related. It was business related of how, I opened it up and how I started my own product line or how I got the celebrity clientele. And so Grind Pretty started from that. So I started it as a blog site just to share resources. And then I thought to myself, I have a Rolodex of women who are amazing. Either I've done makeup for them personally, I've worked for their businesses. Like, how can I just bring this full circle? And so that's how Grind Pretty grew into being a magazine, a subscription box, and even a festival. So that's the long, drawn-out story of who I am. I met Candace long time ago, and
Maybe it was one of the first influencers we worked with, like in 2013.
Yes.
That's how long ago it was.
So I'm really excited. This is a full circle moment. This whole stage is a full circle moment.
It really is.
So I'm really excited for what's to come
Yes.
with Myavana and the Glamatory in particular.
Yes, absolutely. So let's just talk about how has technology impacted your industry, and even you as an entrepreneur, right? Because I think we all started, 10 plus years ago, right? And that was just kind of the beginning of how technology has pretty much changed everything. So I'm curious to see how it's impacted your entrepreneurship journey or even opportunities that you see in your market.
I mean, technology has changed my whole life. I actually started Fashion Bomb Daily in 2006, so I'm like a dinosaur. I was one of the first bloggers at New York Fashion Week. And when I first started blogging, I was working in print magazines, which is now like a relic of the past. I was actually working in the research and reporting department. I don't even think they have those anymore. But our job was to check the facts in the magazine before it went to print, because once it went to print, if there was a mistake in there, then, we'd get all these letters and stuff. So I decided, I was trying to work in fashion, could not find my way in. I was sending my resume off to different fashion magazines, getting rejection letter after rejection letter. And I decided to start a blog, and I was afraid to do it. I was afraid I would lose my job, that my boss would find me out, but he didn't, thankfully, and was able to basically start my blog as a hobby and just turn it into a business. And then after blogging with social media, it's really allowed me to change my entire life, work for myself, now hire a team of people who help me maintain it every day. And so I think one of the questions, I might be skipping ahead, is what we see for the future. Mm-hmm. And I think just embracing AI and seeing what that looks like in fashion, how you're helping people find the right hair products for themselves and sourcing it. How can we use that in fashion, kind of breaking down all the myriad choices you might have on the internet and break out something just for you or create looks just for you, and how do we make that happen? Mm-hmm. And I think the hardest part as an entrepreneur is just being open, remaining open to the evolution of things. Because I started as the blogger.
Right.
Or do people remember Concrete Loop and Cake? Y'all remember those?
Tumblr.
Yeah. That's when I started. So kind of continuing to transition to different formats and forms of media as the industry shifts has been difficult, but I'm embracing the change. And, people like you who are so smart and well-versed in AI, that's obviously the next step for us. So I'm excited.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'll speak from the makeup side, because most women who don't wear makeup, or a lot of them, I'll say, is because they're intimidated by their beauty experiences. Mm-hmm. Like, especially women of color, we're in a different age where 10 years ago there wasn't a range of shades, but it's still a problem to this day, believe it or not. That we're having those experiences where we still can't find the perfect thing, or it's taking us too long to try to figure out our routines. So that's where tech comes into play, where the last time we've gone shopping in the mall, we're shopping online, right?
Right.
But it's not the same with beauty because you need to try it on, you need to swatch it. And so technology now will let you do that from your phone.
Yes.
So I think that is the innovation that we need to continue within the beauty industry so that we all have that personal experience with our makeup routines and buying the right products.
Yes, absolutely. And shout out to Ulta because one of their digital experiences is the color try-on as well. They have hairstyle try-on and now hair analysis, thanks to Myavana. So I am with you on that because to me, coming from tech and now entering beauty, it's like I only saw solutions from a technology perspective. But at the same time, beauty and fashion is so much touch and feel, right? So there is like a delicate art with it, which is why my focus in computer science is human and computer interaction. Because while I'm a proponent for AI, I'm a proponent for the good side of AI and the fact that it is just another tool to make humans' lives better. It's not necessarily supposed to replace humans or to overpower like the very personal in-person experience, right? Like, would you want a robot over your stylist? Like, if you think about it, even if that was an option, you're like, no, you're connected to the person for a certain reason, right? And I feel like that's the case with fashion. Like, you want to know the designer, right?
Yeah.
You want to know the story behind the look, right? So there's just very human element with it that I love too. So it's very much a partnership. And I kind of skipped ahead because I'm so excited, but so what we're going to be sharing today is Myavana is launching partnerships with both the Glamatory and Fashion Bomb Daily, and we're going to be sharing it with you all first. And again, this has been a very organic process. Like I told you, follow God and he'll take you places, right? Remember that? So if we continue the journey, I met Mimi from the beginning, first of all. And we always kind of connected because one, she would be doing my makeup. So it's like, hey girl, how's it going? And then I've coached her on the Glamatory as she was going through different phases. And then she launched Grind Pretty, which is really like the empowerment aspect of beauty, supporting women entrepreneurs, and things of that nature. But in my head, I'm like, okay, what can we do with technology? Because I see that's where this industry is headed, right? And why not partner with other Black women in business too? That's the other thing, because the higher we go is less and less people like us. And we should be the ones designing and developing these technological experiences. Because again, if you knew what goes into user interface design, user experience design, development, so on and so forth, there's so many cultural nuances. There's so much that we need to have a hand in, right? So with Fashion Bomb Daily, we're going to give you guys just a sneak peek. But when I met Claire, first of all, we connected because of this event. I know you all are experiencing the whole summit technology that's in partnership with Mimic. And one of the guys that was on our team for this summit has been in the Atlanta ecosystem for so long. You know those people where you just see at all the events, you talk to them here and there. And so Jay was like, yeah, you should talk to Claire. And I was like, you know what? We should talk. Yeah. And it's just like a knowing. It's just like you kind of felt it. And it was like, as soon as I started preparing for the call, it just came to me. And then on top of that, Mimi was texting me that same day, and we're texting back and forth, and we're like, wait, we can do this together. So going back to the look with Fashion Bomb Daily, we talk about the outfit, right? But what about the hair? How did you get that look? I love your hair, by the way, Claire.
Oh, thank you. My hairstylist is right there.
Hi. Shout out to the hairstylist. Okay, shout out to our hairstylist, Color King in the building. Listen, making us look good. So what about the style, right? So when you see these looks and you see a style that you want to have, don't you want to know how to get that style? So now Myavana can do a unique analysis of your hair and tell you how to get that style, the products to use, or if you should book a salon appointment to get that style, or if you need a wig, if you need protective styles, whatever the case may be. The options are limitless because technology allows us to do that. So we're going to make it happen. And then, oh, by the way, when we get the products, we're going to fulfill them through the beauty supply stores with the Brain Trust pilot. So you see how this all works together? So what do you think, Claire? And I would just love to know your perspective, because obviously that was the first time we met. And I'm like, girl, I got this idea. So tell us about Fashion Bomb Hair and just, your whole perspective of, partnering and now taking it a step further with technology.
I'm so excited. I mean, Fashion Bomb, if you're familiar with the brand, it's a lot of celebrity style, and on Fashion Bomb Hair in particular, a lot of celebrity hairstyles. And we don't really have, my expertise is not hair, unfortunately. But we do have people who write us in, and a big part of our secret sauce is that people write in, and they're like, where can I get this look? And now how can I achieve this hairstyle? And so when you approached me with this idea, I just thought that it was genius, and can't wait to have Myavana lend your unique expertise to our readership and help us to build together. So I'm really excited for it. And then we need beauty as well, Mimi. We need your help.
Yes, so it all works together. This is the whole look right here, right?
Got the whole look right here.
I mean, it only makes sense. So same for you, Mimi, because, we have been, just meeting in terms of the phase you are with the glamatory, right? And actually, I was going to read this earlier. I'm going to read it now, but there's a worship song that I started with, one of the worship songs I started with this morning. And these lyrics just hit me, and it's related to, it just came to me as I mentioned that. So, hold on. One thing to know about me is I take notes about everything. I was like, I need to write this down. So, it's this worship song. It's called It's Not Over. You know that song? I'm practicing on my singing skills, but the lyrics were, it's not over, it's not finished, it's not ending, it's only the beginning. When God is in it, all things are possible. Amen. And I was like, Lord, you are Lord, because Mimi and I were talking about the next phases of the glamatory, thinking it was going in one direction, right? Yeah. God said,
Yeah, I won't get too emotional, but, it is that song.
Yes.
To be, and I'm on the stage, so I feel like this is the level of transparency that I want to give. But I had something very awful happen. And, as a business owner and with social media, you don't, you put your best foot forward with social media. Mm-hmm. And I always want to be transparent with who I am and connecting to who follows me. And I had to close the glamatory that I just praised, a minute ago. I had to close it because of COVID. And at that time, I felt like a failure. And I had to get past it. But once I saw, you need to start looking at it another way and just trust God. Once I let go of I failed, it was all these other opportunities. You have Grind Pretty. Grow that. It's a bigger platform. Grind Pretty grew much faster than the glamatory did. And now we're at a point where, something happened in my life, and I had to start over in my life. And it was like, I can't keep this up. And God told me, release it. Put it out there. Be on social media. Be transparent. It might help someone else. And in fact, it helped me. Because a lot of times people can't help you unless you are transparent about what is going on, and sometimes we have so much pride, and we are scared to think about how people look at us. And so when I let go and let God, He brought the right people in my life that were actually already in my life. So I thank you, Candace. I'm very excited about what's to come. And I actually had thought about this app. I have a book of ideas. And I actually thought about this app years ago, but I just slept on it for all these years and thought, well, I don't have the power to do this right now. And in just conversation with you, and I know it was God. So I thank you. I'm excited. And just to give you a taste of what we're talking about.
You ready to show it?
Well, yeah, let me ask the crowd a couple questions if I can. Is there anybody in here that does makeup? Are there any makeup artists? Okay. Is there anyone in here who has ever professionally got their makeup done? Okay. That's most of the room. After you've gotten your makeup done, have you ever gone home and said, dang, I wish I really knew what they used on my face? Yeah. Right? All right. So this app is that. So I'm the makeup artist that comes and does Claire's makeup. And I do what I normally do. I take a picture of Claire, it's on social media, but I can go in and tag the products that I use for Claire and any notes and send it to Claire. So now Claire can go home. She might actually be able to go and buy that product right then and there. Mm-hmm. And if she doesn't want to buy that product right then and there, 6 months later, she's like, I really like how Mimi did my makeup that day. What did she use? She can go back and see what that is. That is what this technology is. So I'm really, really, really excited.
You can go to the next image. So here it is.
It is called Glam Track. So you can track your glam.
It's so cool, right? So Mimi and I were talking, and the more she's talking, I'm like, our technology already does that. So for Myavana Pro, stylists, and us as healthy hair experts, we're adding the products that you should be using for your hair, right? Pros can add the products that they're using on your face. What it was designed, what she needed to do is already built for. So now it's going to be powered by Myavana. Again, just extending our personalized, because God showed me it's bigger than hair. That's a hashtag, bigger than hair. God kept saying that to me. And now what I understand is how the bigger thing we have built is what I'm calling personalized consumer journeys. And God is showing me how that is applicable to multiple industries. But we're going to start in beauty. And I just absolutely love that, because it was just like in that moment, like it's done. We actually already have it, so it's done. So yeah, so that was just, I'm so excited. And you all will get the flyers to sign up for beta. So we're going to start working towards the beta version and get it out there. And what I love about being in tech is you are pushed to get the product out there in terms of not being afraid or not thinking that you don't have the money when you do, because that's the first thing you think about with an app idea or anything. You're like, how much money is it going to take, right? But we learn how to be resourceful, and that's a really key part of our partnership network too. So Powered by Myavana is going to bring Glam Track to life. Is going to be getting these styles together with Fashion Bomb Hair. And now we see 2 new segments that can extend this personalized consumer journey as we think about your whole look. So I'm like, okay, God, I see how you brought it all together. So as we close, I am interested to know what is your big idea or what is your big vision? Where do you see yourself in terms of growing your businesses? Because the thing I love about technology, too, is the scale that it gives you. And it actually gives you back things, too. Time, right? You talk about, Robin mentioned Karen mentioned not having to be getting from behind the chair, right? So as a makeup artist, and now techpreneur, right? You're a techpreneur now, right? Can we say that?
Yeah, I guess so.
You are a woman in tech now, Mimi.
I'll
Claire,
take it.
you're a woman in tech now. Well, you already been in tech. You already been in tech.
I was like, okay.
But we're integrating, yeah, just taking to another level. So, what is your big idea, for your business? And I'm just excited to now do it in partnership together.
I mean, I think Fashion Bomb should be next with the app.
Listen.
Powered by Myavana,
Powered
maybe?
by Myavana. Listen, make your request known. We're gonna make it happen.
Okay. Because we are known for like looking at somebody's outfit. Like I could probably take a picture of anybody in here and be like, this is where you got it.
That's very true.
And here's where you can find it. And that really is all that we do all day, every day. So putting it on an app and also recommending, okay, green is your color or blue is your color, and you should wear sparkles or a suit or something like that. I think there's a way that we can incorporate it more into fashion. So we'll talk.
Absolutely.
At the next summit, we'll have
At the
some new
next summit
announcements.
next year, 2025, put on your calendar. Mimi.
Well, I'm excited about Glam Track and reviving the glamatory as a whole. My thing is, I've gone from every aspect of working, from corporate to makeup and I'm just open. Even though I have personal goals, I'm just open to where God leaves me. And, I always say, whatever I do with purpose, it never fails. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited to grow. I'm excited to solve problems in beauty for women.
Yes, amen to that. Thank you, ladies, so much, so much. This is so meaningful, significant, purposeful, and I'm excited for the journey ahead together. So thank you. We're going to transition and stay tuned. Everyone's ready to party soon, right? We're going to turn it into a Georgia Tech party. We are going to shift into social impact and then our hair journey conversation. And then you guys can continue exploring the technology. And so at the next summit, we'll have Fashion Bomb Daily and the Glam Track app.
There we go.
Thank you so much, ladies.
And I'm still alive, okay. Hi, my name is Sheree, pronoun she, her. I am based in Atlanta. I'm originally from Reading, Pennsylvania, about an hour outside of Philadelphia. So what you just saw was a nice, warm ad of Browns. Browns was founded February 26, 2021. We launched on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. And this has been my baby for the past 3 years. We first started out as an app that was just for hairstylists. And then we saw a need beyond hair to also incorporate the skin aspect because I don't know if you have seen the TikTok videos of the black models at New York Tech Week, and they've had a hard time finding makeup artists and estheticians. So I also wanted to incorporate that aspect also into the business and make it a holistic beauty experience as well. And this journey has been personal for me. When I grew up, my skin tone wasn't celebrated, my hair texture wasn't celebrated, and instead of continuously, sitting within those feelings, and that was a feeling that was common for other Black women in my community as well. And I consider myself a problem solver, so I wanted to, use my tech skills and create an app that could help, not just help us find the right beauty professional, but also empower us and build a community so we can feel seen and heard and put us on a platform. So right now we are available throughout the US. Our biggest markets are Atlanta, Philadelphia, Chicago, and Houston. And we recently just launched a beauty school partnership pilot program where we did some research and saw that a lot of beauty school students have the amazing talents with cosmetology, but a skill set gap is understanding how to build a business and knowing where to start, how to market themselves. So I'm going to be partnering with nearby nonprofits such as TechSgiving. Hopefully I can work with Baddies in Tech as well, and also Myavana to help supplement our educational materials to help these beauty students so they can be successful. And, some of the stats that even Candace shared earlier today, we have a $9 billion buying power. And we only represent 3% of the overall revenue in the beauty market. So it's time for us to start putting that money back into our communities and also giving us a platform so we can grow. But thank you for the time and thank you for the opportunity, Myavana, and specifically Candace.
Absolutely. Amen to that. Let's give her a round of applause. And Hand it to Dawn. Next, I want to welcome up Dawn from the Ritualist.
Hi guys, can you hear me? Ooh, that was aggressive. How you guys feeling? All right. Candace put on this beautiful event, and it's so informative and so well done. So I'm gonna need more energy than that. Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing today? Yes. Okay, guys, my name is Dawn Myers, founder and CEO of a company called Ritualist, and we are focusing on physical tech, that is actual appliances that are designed for the specific needs of women of color, Black women in particular, who are struggling to embrace their textured hair. Okay, I want to get a poll here. How many folks in this room have a natural? Now that may be a natural under your braids or under a wig or under a weave, but how many people in here, men and women, have textured hair? All right. And how many of you are really frustrated when wash day comes around? Yes, the vast majority of you. And what I realized about 5 years ago was that this was an invisible pain point in the lives of millions of women. But when you walk into the R&D suite at, say, a Unilever or a L'Oreal, none of those people look like us, right? And so those people don't understand what the back end of our wash day looks like. They don't understand the frustration that we're going through. They don't understand the 3 to 5 hours that we're spending every wash day. And so I came up with a concept to make wash day faster and easier and more convenient. Let me introduce you to the men. If we can scroll forward maybe 3 or 4 slides. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Right there. All right, so this is the mint. Basically, we've taken the Keurig model. So we brought on a bunch of advisors from Keurig. And you might be saying, what does Keurig have to do with textured hair? Well, just like a coffee drinker, when they wake up in the morning, they want their brand of coffee. Our consumers want their products. We have to have our products. And so we developed this pod-based system that delivers warmed, conditioned products to your hair. What does that mean? That pod you see there, you fill it with your favorite products, whatever product you want. And then you pop that pod into the tool. The tool very gently warms and conditions your products to the perfect temperature where you're getting reduced friction. Reduced friction reduces the detangling time. It reduces how much work you have to put in to get penetration, product penetration for your low porosity hair. It improves your hair health. It cuts down on detangling and styling time. It reduces shedding and hair loss and breakage by up to 70%, right? And so, thank you. And so we partnered, we came up with this idea, right? But then the question was, I'm not an engineer, I'm a lawyer by training, but I'm not an engineer. I'm not a manufacturer. How in the world do we get this technology out into the world? So we partnered with some of the biggest manufacturers on the planet, Dow first and foremost among them. And we used their hair scientists and their engineers and tested this product and reiterated this product over the course of 5 years to make sure that it was perfect for women with afro-textured hair, 4C, and in particular. Why? Because our people are over-indexing, as the young lady just said, 9 times and spending 9 times the rest of the population on hair products, and we are not being accommodated, right? So we wanted to make sure that our people were accommodated. And we have birthed this incredible technology that, again, is saving consumers 50% of time every time they wash. So if your styling and detangling step takes 45 minutes to an hour, you can expect that to go down at least to 25 to 30 minutes. My styling time goes down from about an hour to about 10 to 15 minutes, which is a massive, massive time savings. And what we're trying to do here is develop a suite of products that cater to every pain point in a woman's wash day. Now, we were able to hit a lot of those pain points with this technology, right? We were able to make sure that you can travel easily. If you want to travel abroad or you have a work trip, you can take your mint, pop it in your bag, and get on TSA without having to worry about your products being confiscated. You can style faster. We've made it easier and we've hit a lot of those pain points, but we are now selling and growing. We were recently on Shark Tank. We got a deal from, yes, it was a big deal. We were recently on Shark Tank. We got a deal from Mark Cuban and Emma Grede, who's an insane Black woman investor. Yeah. So this is a really exciting time for us, and we're ready to grow. I'm going to be over in the corner if you want to kind of see how the Mint works and answer some more questions. But what we're really interested in is your feedback. Tell us what you think. Also, we've set up a discount code specifically for this group. If you go to our website, ritualist.com, and enter in your email, you'll get a discount code to your inbox, and you can get a nice $100 off. Not bad. All right, so thank you guys for your time today, and congratulations again, Candace.
Isn't this amazing? I told y'all this is the future of hair care, right? Go Dawn! I'm so happy for you. The future of hair care, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. All right, so we're going to get ready for our next panel. Again, I'm really passionate about social impact, and part of that is amplifying more Black women in tech. It's not a lot of us, but isn't it great to learn about tech through beauty? Isn't that a more fun way, right? So that was my connection point to stay in my major. I was literally in this classroom over on this side over here, database structures, and it just wasn't clicking for me. It was like, it felt boring. I was like, do I really belong here? And I was really questioning myself, doubting myself. And I said, I need to connect this to something I'm passionate about, and that was hair care. So to see the application of technology with hair is it just gives me life. And to be able to teach other Black women, train them up in STEM through beauty is very much a passion point for Myavana. So I want to welcome up our partner, Allie from Baddies in Tech, who is helping us in this mission, as well as our Chief Research Analyst, Tanisha Billups, who leads our Beauty Tech Fellowship program. So this is something, again, we've always wanted to do, and then finally it's like, okay, it's a set time for it. And it kind of speaks to how we all came together, because remember Tanisha mentioned, and actually there was a woman, I remember the woman who introduced us, Sabrina, I think her name was Sabrina. And I actually met Sabrina at Spelman Interactive. We had a table, and I promise you, actually, at that table was when we were debating what the brand name should be, because at the time we had to change the brand name, and we literally came up with Myavana. And that, again, it just started a path, because in my head, I'm like, okay, we need to work with Spelman, right? In my head, I'm like, okay, I want to hire more Black women. I want to be able to, again, just bring new creativity to STEM. And think about hair products, right? What does hair products take to be developed? It takes chemistry, right?
Absolutely.
It takes all the applications that you're using, the hardware devices you're seeing, that takes true technical development. So why not take our technical skills to beauty? And that's what I love Baddies in Tech does as well. I met Allie through one of my best friends, Stacy, last year, because today is our 12-year anniversary, right? So I already knew the Beauty Tech Summit was going to be on this day. What ended up happening was this week is also Atlanta Tech Week. So it just happened. I'm like, we are closing out Atlanta Tech Week. And that's how God decided to do it. So here we are. So I want you to introduce yourselves. Just tell us who you are, how you started Baddies in Tech. And then Tanisha will go to you, because remember, Tanisha started out as a hair analyst. now in R&D, but also now leading our Beauty Tech Fellowship, which may become its own department. I hope it does. So I would love for you all to just introduce yourselves and let us hear a little bit about yourselves.
Yes, amazing. Well, I'm so honored to be here. Thank you, Candace, for having me. Hi, everyone. I'm Ali Joy, and I'm sorry, it's the end of ATL Tech Week. I lost my voice.
You must have
We've been
been
doing a lot.
going in.
We've been doing a lot. We've been doing a little too much. So please forgive my voice. But I'm Ali Joy. I'm the founder and executive director of Baddies in Tech. And what Baddies in Tech is, we are a community-based professional development organization of over 100,000 bold, ambitious, and dynamic women of color in the tech industry. And we're empowering their careers through access to technical upskilling, through mentorship and networking, and also access to job opportunities. And, with the tech industry specifically, women of color are vastly underrepresented. There's only about 4 to 5% of people in technical roles worldwide that are women of color. And so through our programs, our vision is to double the representation of women of color in computing roles to 10% by 2030.
Amen to that. More Black women in computing. Remember that picture of the three of us? It was only the three of us.
It's terrible. And I can give a background on how it started. So I set out with Baddies in Tech in 2019, and I didn't really set out to build an organization, to build a national or global organization. I started my tech career in 2018 at an AI health tech startup. So it's funny that it's just so full circle. But my background is in biology, and so my career has always been in health tech startups and in DEI. And so when I started my career in 2018, it was at a very small startup down in North Carolina. I was the 10th employee, and I was the only Black person at the company. I was the youngest person because I just graduated from college. And I was, of course, only the only Black woman. And so Baddies in Tech really, I love that you've been talking about God this whole time. And I was sitting there crying when you were showing the video about Uganda, because I'm Ghanaian. So I love all of this. I can't wait to get into it. But started Baddies in Tech because, I was on the path to becoming a doctor, and then I had entered the tech industry and didn't have that background. But I used to travel for work, and I was traveling one day, doing a great job at my first big girl job, and I took a selfie, and I was like, hashtag Baddies in Tech, and it just, downloaded, and I put that hashtag on the photo, and I clicked the hashtag, and I saw no one had ever used it before, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. I feel like it describes me as a woman, but also as a tech professional, and I think it should be a thing because it's culturally relevant. And so, I just decided to kind of make it my Instagram blog and just document my journey in the tech space as a Black woman. And it was also because, again, I didn't have mentors in the space. I couldn't really see myself in the tech industry. And so I decided, I'm going to put out a smoke signal, maybe there's other women who are like me. And at the time, I didn't realize that there was a systemic issue. I thought it was something that I was facing myself. But when I put it out there, it grew so quickly and so organically because other, women of color, other Black women and brown women were like, I'm a baddie, I'm in tech, or I want to be a baddie in tech. And this, this is relevant to me. This really represents me. And so Baddies in Tech just grew very quickly. And then part of the story too, I went back to Ghana in 2019 and I was building startups in Ghana, which is why I'm so inspired.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we gotta talk, girl.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm so inspired by what you're doing in Uganda, and we gotta talk. But was doing that from 2019 to 2020, and then the pandemic hit in 2020, so I stayed in Ghana for another year. But when the pandemic hit, George Floyd was also murdered. And so because we had built an audience online and we were active and had built this community of women of color in the tech industry, tech companies were scrambling to diversify and really build more diverse workforces and talent pipelines. And so we became that go-to resource for tech companies who were trying to hire Black and brown women. And so that's when Baddies in Tech started becoming more of a company and an organization. And so we incorporated in 2022 and have been building ever since. And, when things started opening back up in 2022, we started doing events
in New York, DC, and Atlanta. And then last August, we did our inaugural conference up in New York. And I've been full-time with Baddies in Tech since June of 2023. And so it's been a year of full-time entrepreneurship for me. And so it's been such a journey, but I'm just inspired every day by the community. I'm inspired by, the Black and brown women who are out here doing amazing things in the tech industry. And I like to think of Baddies in Tech as an external ERG, like employee resource group, right? Like we're really the glue that brings women of color together and gives them a safe space to really thrive in the tech industry. And so that is what I get to do every day. And I'm so passionate about it, and I can't wait to continue amplifying resources that you're providing with the Beauty Tech Fellowship. I know we're going to get into that towards the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to add what I love most about the brand or the statement Baddies in Tech is that oftentimes, it kind of shows you where to appreciate our value, right? So oftentimes, you can be appreciated for being a baddie, right? Like you fine, you're attractive or whatever. How about you appreciate my intelligence?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Baddies
Put some
in
respect.
tech. Yes. That's why I'm like, okay, I can support this.
It's about duality. It's about being dynamic. And like I said earlier, Baddies, it's an acronym, right? The first 3 letters, bold, ambitious, and dynamic.
See?
So it's about being dynamic. It's about being multifaceted. It's about celebrating all parts of who women of color, Black women, brown women in the tech industry are, right? We are beautiful and we are outwardly, attractive and all of those things, but we're also intelligent. We're also incredibly innovative. We're also ambitious, and we're also changing the world. So that is what Baddies in Tech is.
To it. There we go. That is what we're getting behind, okay? So Tanisha personifies this.
I was going to say, that's a tough act to follow.
Yes, so tell us how you ended up leading our Beauty Tech Fellowship, how that came to be.
Oh, goodness. I don't know. How did it come to be? Candace and I go back to 2016 when I started on Peter Street with her, straight out of graduate school with my master's from North Carolina A&T in chemical engineering. And I was like, I knew I was going to be in beauty. I have to be in beauty, but how am I going to get there? And then met Candace, started off doing hair strand analysis. We were just beginning and kind of figuring out how to analyze the hair strands and learning from Miss Robin. So fast forward to now, I do research for Myavana. I've always been in research with Myavana, but we wanted to share our knowledge and bring more Black women into the fold of beauty and tech, and we just ran with it, and it went great. We had our first cohort last fall we interviewed them last fall, and then they finished up this spring, and we're looking forward to doing another one hopefully this fall again.
Yes, so we had our first group of fellows. Yeah. And again, so over the years, we talk about things, and then we'll realize, okay, now's the time to do it. And that time came, I don't remember exactly how, but we're like, okay, we're going to move on it. But yes, tell them a little bit about the fellows, what schools they represented, and what the fellowship program was about.
Sure. So we had fellows. We partnered with North Carolina A&T. Was it the Family Services?
Yeah, Family and Consumer Science. Consumer Sciences.
Science. I know them from Love the Hair You Wear.
Yeah, shout out to Vakoya, one of our partner community organizations. Right. We were doing an event, at North Carolina A&T.
Majority of them were for North Carolina A&T. We had one Spelman alumna. Any Spelman alumna? And then dual degree Georgia Tech Spelman alum as well. And then we had 2 from New York Institute.
Yes.
That were in our program, which was really great. We focused on our product database, so product information, ingredients, they went through our hair strand analysis process, and then a lot of user feedback and experience as well.
Yes, so essentially creating a beauty tech curriculum based off of how we built Myavana. So think about all the departments and us thinking about how can we teach skills in STEM, right? Rooted in science, and see how that goes. Because honestly, that's how our hair analysts have come into the fold really starting in the lab, but then, growing to other areas. It was definitely very fulfilling to see them jump in and want to learn. And these were all majors, right?
Right.
No, not
So-
necessarily a technical major, but
There was a variety. We had journalism and mass communications. I mean, we didn't all have STEM majors, but they all wanted to be in beauty and they all wanted to be in tech. So you don't have to have necessarily a STEM background. I mean, it helps.
it helps.
It
As
helps.
long as you're willing to learn, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they came in ready and willing to learn. They did a great job too.
Yeah, so I love that. So, Allie, how do you all introduce new career opportunities to your members? Because that's something I saw that was very powerful, not only in the training, but we did have a panel with other leading women from beauty companies. And I just saw how, again, the exposure really opens up and broadens your perspective about what you can do in your career. So how do you all do that?
Absolutely. And I just want to say, I really love that you all are emphasizing that you don't necessarily have to have that STEM background to be in this space. And that's exactly what we encourage at Baddies in Tech as well. We encourage multiple disciplines and multiple disciplinary, pathways into the tech industry. So our community is, majority, I would say about let's say 25% software engineers and people who have that technical background. But then we have people who are in data. We have people who are cybersecurity. We have people who are in customer success, marketing, sales. We have people who, are doing all kinds of things in the tech industry. They're utilizing their backgrounds and their interests to innovate and to make a difference in the tech industry. And so, I do want to emphasize that is an option within the tech industry, right? Like we can do different things in the tech industry. So with Baddies in Tech, like I said, we encourage that in the community. And what we do is we build partnerships. So one thing that we've never wanted to become is a boot camp ourselves, because there are so many, and again, because we are the glue. And so we bring all these women together to really be able to network, to have a professional development support system. But we build partnerships with, your programs like yours, professional development programs, workforce development programs, boot camps, to be able to amplify those opportunities to,
I know, get this fly out of here. He attracted to the Baddies in Tech. That's what it is. Get out of here.
Okay. It's Atlanta. It's child. Bring me back to New York. But yeah, so we build partnerships. We're very collaborative at Baddies in Tech. And so we build partnerships with different workforce development programs. And one thing that we're doing now to make that process easier, to make it seamless, and to really be able to continue amplifying those opportunities towards our community is we're building a membership portal and a membership dashboard. So we have a conference that's coming up in August in New York. It's called BaddieCon. And it really is a space for women of color to come together, to network, to learn, and to find opportunities. And so we're going to be launching our membership portal there. And what we're doing is we're building a dashboard of resources that we have called Baddie-approved programs, right? Programs that our community has taken or that we have vetted and said, this is a program that's going to get you to that next level. And we're partnering with those programs to be able to make sure that anyone who joins Baddies in Tech can have access to that, can learn about the program, can see, what the program is about, and can get connected to that opportunity. So we're really excited to continue doing that. And then again, our big thing is community. At our core, we are a community. And so we host events in New York, DC, and Atlanta. And a lot of them are, professional networking events. Some of them are just community-based, fun events. We've done flower making workshops, and we've done, candle making workshops and things like that. And the whole point of that, as one of the speakers was saying earlier, is resources are not just, a course or whatever. Sometimes it's meeting somebody who can, get you to that next level, who has can unlock a door for you. And so those networking opportunities are so important to what we do as well. It's really the network effects. So, one of the things that we're doing too is the core part of our membership that's coming up is our sister circles. So we're developing small group cohorts, mentorship cohorts where we'll be matching our community based on their career interests, and their cohort will be in their city. So same career interest, same city, but across levels. So maybe you're interested in software engineering or becoming a software engineer, or you're a software engineer right now. We'll match you to a group where one person just graduated from an engineering program, one person is an engineering manager, one person is a mid-level individual contributor, so that there's this multi-level mentorship, and that the mid-level can mentor the person who just graduated, the manager can mentor the mid-level who's trying to grow into a management position, but also the person who just graduated can mentor the manager because they have a new and fresh perspective. So we're really looking forward to, again, being able to build those network effects in our community, and being able to really leverage the knowledge that is within, and unlocking the knowledge that is within each of these women, so that you can share that knowledge. Yeah,
I love that so much. All the tools I wish I had. Right. Being in school and just navigating the early phases of your career, because again, it can really feel like a whole other world, and again, being connected to the right people, but also having like a place and a space in a community, like it makes really, really, really a huge difference. So thank you.
Yeah, and it's that exposure too, right? Like I was saying, when I started Baddies in Tech, it was for myself because I didn't know where my career could go because I couldn't see that. Mm-hmm. And so, to your point about how we expose people to new career paths, it's about showing them that there's a woman that looks like me in that career, and it's possible for me as well.
Yes, definitely. Tanisha, what was your journey like? Through chemistry, you ended up getting your master's as well, which is a whole other level of
only the Lord.
Toughness. Exactly. Thank you. I was about to say, you just feel it helps you not feel alone.
God's great.
Like if we could just battle not feeling alone, and just again. So, what was your journey like, and what difference do you hope to make, like through the Beauty Tech Fellowship program? Because I can easily see how we can plug into Baddies in Tech. But yeah, what is your perspective on that?
So my journey, I grew up in like a Wakanda bubble. So I went to Spelman, and then I went to North Carolina A&T. So I was surrounded by people that looked like me, doing what I wanted to do, or all of us pursuing it together. So I cannot relate on the other end, being a double-time HBCU grad.
Right, okay, so yeah, let's put some context. Two very different situations. I went to a PWI, if you guys did not know what that means, predominantly whites. So yeah, completely different experience.
Yeah. Yes, and going to a HBCU is like its own network, own community, own sorority, fraternity, so I had a special case. But what I like to do now, knowing that there's a different perspective, right, is I want them to learn to be bold and confident in what they want to do, and know that there's an avenue for it. We just all need to link up together to find that avenue for each other, right? We're better together. So that's where the Beauty Fellowship comes in, and why I personally am so passionate about that.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So we'll do one last question before we transition. What advice would you give for people who want to get into tech? And even through the lens of beauty, because what I see now is, again, we like to call it limitless possibilities. But I feel like sometimes there's a gap in actually starting, right? So what advice would you give? And that could be people who want to get into tech, or as they progress in tech. Because again, I feel like we should have a huge position in how it's shaping industry, shaping our lives, period. Mm-hmm. What advice would you share?
Yeah, I think the tech industry is so wide, and so my advice to get from point A to point B quickly is to narrow the scope, right? Really figure out what it is that you want to do, And you don't have to know completely. You might have 2 to 3 careers that are like, oh, I'm interested in, maybe my educational background aligns with, or the things that I've been good at growing up aligns with, or the things that I've done in my previous job. I have transferable skills that can align with, this XYZ role in the tech industry. And it really is about, soul searching, career exploration. And so, how I recommend doing that, like I said, really evaluate you, your lifestyle, how much you want to make, and also talk to people, network, find the people who are in those roles and talk to them about what their day-to-day is like, so you can really have an idea of what that career path would look like. And then also there's so much free education out there, so take advantage of those things to kind of get a glimpse of, this is the skills that I'm going to need to add into my, my tool belt in order to be successful, and see if you like doing those things before you pay for maybe a boot camp or you pay for a training program. If there is a free program, take advantage of it. If like the fellowship, take advantage of those things to really build the understanding of what you want to do, and then network, because right now the tech industry is kind of crazy, in terms of layoffs. The tech industry is evolving, it's changing. And so it's important to build relationships because people give people jobs. And so if people like you, they know what you do and they know what you can do, they will be able to speak your name in rooms that you're not in. They'll be able to unlock doors for you. So I think that networking is the most underrated skill right now.
Yes.
And then obviously AI in everything right now. They're forcing it down our throats. So you might as well, take a spoonful, do something and just learn. And so, I think that just kind of not being afraid to explore AI. There's so many different things here, so many demos, so many things to play around with where you can just start getting your hands dirty with AI tools, learning how to prompt engineer, learning how to integrate it into your daily life for productivity, and learning how to integrate it into the things that you do day to day in your work so that you can ride that wave and you don't get left behind, and you can be, one of the people that they look to as they continue to, evolve and evolve roles, that you can be one of the people who can evolve with that. So I think that would be my advice for anyone who's looking to break in or grow within the tech industry.
I love that. Those were some really great gems. Thank you.
I was going to say, she said them all. When Candace asked the question, I thought of two words. It's just to be vulnerably courageous in your search, because you have to reach out to people that you don't know that may be doing what you're doing, whether that's a LinkedIn message or coming to something like this and walking up to people, which can be intimidating, right? If you're a little bit more introverted or you're not used to talking to people, is to step out and put yourself out there, because we can't help what we don't know. And that's what we're all here for. So that would be my advice, is to put yourself out there and be your best authentic self, and you'll go far.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Tanisha. Thank you, Allie. Let's give them a round of applause. I'm so excited to work with both of you and to create more baddies in tech. All right?
We need more baddies.
Yes. So we are going to transition to our last talk before we get into our hair party. I know y'all ready to party, right? I'm ready to party. I'm ready to celebrate. So can I get a few guys to help reset the stage one last time and bring up the fourth chair? Leonard, Oliver. Okay, perfect. Oh, yes, picture, sorry. Okay, while they adjust the stage, someone's going to have to move these two down. Leonard, can you come help us reset the stage? All right, while they reset the stage, it just needs to...
Keep all four. But like those gotta go down.
Okay, while they're resetting the stage, so I do have a couple of giveaways. Remember, my professor wrote this book, right? The Heart of Innovation. Anyone interested in having a copy? I have a couple of signed copies, okay? So, let me come up with some Myavana fun facts to see. Okay, so I'm gonna see who was paying attention to the last panel. So, okay. Let's see. Let me come up with a fun fact. Where did Tanisha go to school? Raise your hand. I saw your hand. Okay, Spellman. All right, this copy is for you. Let's give a round of applause. Say your name and just a quick introduction of who you are.
Hi, everyone. My name is Letitia Jones. I'm a current student at Spelman College, and I'm also a beauty founder. So, my business is Moshe. I have a skincare line, so you can follow me at Love Moshe, Shea like shea butter, and love like love.
All right, what's meant for you then? Meant to be. There you go. Congratulations. Okay, so this one's a little harder. I'm gonna have you put your thinking caps on. So earlier we talked about the hair ID, right? We introduced the hair ID. How many combinations of the hair ID has Myavana discovered? We've shared this a few times. The unique hair ID, texture, type, and condition. There are a certain number of combinations that we've discovered. It's disrupting the hair typing system, right? So the current hair typing system only has 12. If you think about 1A, 2B, 3C, 4A, it's 12. Myavana has expanded that with the hair ID, but how many combinations is it? Raise your hand, okay. 27, all right, higher. Anyone else, I guess? Anyone want to, yes? Lauren, hey girl. 64, higher. Hey, Erica. Any other takers? Raise your hand. Orange blazer. 120, higher. So we've analyzed over 2 billion hair strands. So, yes. So that was a fun fact. All these strands have been coming in the lab. In the billions. That's why we know what your hair needs. But there are a certain number of combinations. I want you to guess how many. So it's higher than 100. Higher than 300. It sounds like you're bidding, right? Anyone want to bid on some Myavana stock right now? 400 higher. 600 higher. 1,200 lower, higher than 800, 1,000 lower than 1,000, 900 higher than 900. Okay, you got to start raising your hands now, okay? All right, yes. 980, you are so close, girl. You so close. A little lower. Yes. Ooh, you're even closer. Just a little bit lower. Star. You're right. 972 unique combinations of the hair ID. Okay, Star, so I have to have you introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. My name is Star Scott. I'm just happy to be here. I'm also a female in tech here in the area, and I'm really just here to support Candace. I love the line. I'm so happy for her, and I'm happy that you all are here too. So thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Yeah, picture. 972, she got it. Thank you. Thank you. Yay. So Star was also on the worship team at my church, Destiny Metropolitan Worship Church. Shout out. Anyone go to Destiny? Destiny in the building. That was like, let me tell you, worship takes you places, right? Destiny got me going, honestly. I went to Destiny while I was at Tech, so I'm so happy you're here, Star. Yes. Okay, so we're going to have our last talk for today. It's going to be so, so good. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for some hair journey conversation? God is so good. Okay. Are our next guests ready? Let's see. Is Gail here? Where is Gail? Okay, give us 5 minutes. DJ? I know, I saw her too. And, oh, pictures. Okay, cool. Yeah, you know, we got to get our photos. And hey, Joseph. Joseph's in the building. Why don't you come introduce yourself, Joseph? So I actually, speaking of AI, I went and spoke at the AI Club at Yale University. So, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, you guys. I'm Joseph Browner. Candace came actually up to Yale. I co-founded the Artificial Intelligence Association at Yale. And so we brought her up to give a talk to the class for the MBA students. I just got my MBA from there. And I'm next generation for Browner Brothers.
Mr. Joseph Bronner is the next generation of the Bronner Brothers. And I love how we connected because it was so divine. We had our first booth at Bronner Brothers. We've been wanting to partner with Bronner Brothers for a long time, but it wasn't until somehow I got an email from Joseph. Because again, with technology innovation, you know, we're pushing things towards the future. So sometimes it takes new leadership, right? So this is the next generation. We're going to be doing some great things together. And I appreciate you for being here. Yes, it's great to see you too. And he's being so humble, but he's amazing. And we're really looking forward to this experience that you see today. We want to bring this experience to trade shows. We want to make it more technology driven. We want to have you able to get interactive education about products, you know, work with retailers in new, unique ways. So that's a few of the things that we're hoping to do together in partnership. But I'm so happy you're here, and I'm happy to have this moment with you. Yes, thank you. All right, Joseph in the building. Any other, hey. So, okay, are we ready? Are our panelists ready? I'm so excited. I actually get to look at y'all and like see who's in the audience. Okay. So we're going to get ready for our next conversation. One of the ideas that we've had, and, you know, to give you all the full picture of Myavana, right? So you got the science, the tech, the education, the community, right? The last key piece for us is media, actually. So did you all see in the experience Myavana TV? Did you see in the summit experience? So we have been creating content in the lab with Myavana from our healthy hair experts is starting. So it's going to be the beginning of a whole re-education about your hair. We also have something that has been very special to me, Taste of Texture. So that'll be the hair party experience that we're having later on. But it comes from these conversation topics. One of the things we learned from our customers was just about how much women are on a hair journey, right? So I was like, you know what, we should have a hair journey talk show and just talk about the moments when you evolve, how your hair changes, but it's a reflection of your life, and so many elements that capture like your evolution, because every hairstyle has a story, right? And so this is really the start of that. I had some great conversations so far, but this is actually a live one. And you'll get to meet one of our new ambassadors. So if we could have our guests come on up to the stage. We'll have Saraya, Paige, and Gail. Is Gail here? Okay, I'm going to... You can sit right here. Gail, get my hug yet. great. I'm so happy you're here. Yes. Oh, y'all matching too. I love it. Woo, so now we get to just chill, connect, and one aspect of our brand with Myavana is really like sisterhood, right? Like we're connecting, we care about each other. Our tagline, "Because we care," came from our CARE system, which is how our technology works: consult, analyze, recommend, educate. But the moments we have with our customers are so great because we actually care about the journeys that they're going through. You all look so beautiful. Thank you. See, we girls, right? That is a part of the brand that I feel is like the human element, right? Because yes, this is technology driven, but we actually care about the people that we are serving, our customers, right? So this is just the start of what I call the Hair Journey Talk Show, because there's so many stories behind our hairstyle changes, right? So I want to talk about that. Actually, Gail hosted our first Taste of Texture in January. So if you all, some of you were there, and we were introduced to this phase of her hair journey. And I'm excited to hear where things are now. So, but first, I would love for you to introduce yourselves. We may know who you are, but I always love people to kind of tell us, like, so we can connect. And I'm just really excited about, again, how God is bringing this all together. So we'll start with you. You have your mic. Okay.
Hi, how are you? My name is Soraya. Sorry, I apologize. My voice is very raspy. As soon as I got to Atlanta, allergies just attacked me. But my name is Soraya. I'm an actress, singer, entrepreneur. And I am so excited to be here, Candace. Thank you for having me. I think that this is so innovative and fresh and new. And now that I know all of the different, percentages on what the spaces that we take up, I think it's so necessary that we're all here.
Yes, and we connected recently. So Soraya is our new ambassador, joining our just group of phenomenal people. God handpicks our ambassadors, number one. And number two, it was just, again, when we met, to me, I felt like she personified Myavana so much. So again, it's the authenticity that leads, and we're going to talk more about that. But I'm so happy to have you here, too.
Thank you. It's such an honor. Thank you.
Yay.
Hi, I'm Gail Bean, actress, writer, producer, philanthropist, and I've known Candace and the whole Myavana brand since birth.
Since we were born.
So I'm just very happy to be here and very honored to be on this hair journey and share it all with everybody because, my hair has been through a journey.
Paige? No.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paige Mitchell. I am a community advocate, artist, and I'm also a yoga instructor. So I'm super concerned about justice in the physical space, but also getting free internally. So that's me.
Amen to that. Paige is also my youngest sister. So sometimes I don't put her out there like that, but I'm having a proud big sis moment. So this is my youngest sister, yeah. So again, this journey is just amazing, and seeing you all evolve has been just beautiful. So tell us where you are in your hair journey right now, and if you could give this phase a name, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a great question. Let's see. I feel like, well, first I'll answer the first part of your question. Right now in my hair journey, under these braids, is rocking a bob. I think for me right now is being unidentified by what I think I should or shouldn't do with my hair. And what I mean by that is saying that in 2020, when did I turn? 2021, I believe. That's my first time I cut my hair from, ever, super, super short. I started rocking a pixie. I then dyed it, and I dyed it again, and I dyed it platinum. And then it was this whole rebirth of feeling free and having autonomy over myself. It was telling myself no longer to be in fear. So that was the first time I was able to be the fearless woman that I always wanted to be, but I was a little too nervous to be her fully. And I think after COVID, I was like, I don't want to cuss, but I was just like, you know what, forget it. And I just cut my hair off, and that's something that was super scary to me because much like a lot of us, I'm sure, we identify so much with our hair. Yeah. And it is who we are. It's how we look. It goes with our looks. It goes with our phases, our moods. And that's how hair has always been for me. So ever since I could remember, I've been trying to do something with my hair. I used to cut my hair myself. Not recommended. I used to cut my own straight across bangs. I was curly hair and straight bangs. Make it make sense. I don't know. But I had so many phases, and right now I'm just at a acceptance phase of, okay, I did it. I cut my hair, I dyed it platinum, I did all the scary things, and now I'm just embracing where it's at. And I wore braids last year for a good amount of time, and it grew out to a bob from a pixie. So that's where we are, and I think for me in hair, it just really taught me that it grows back, and I'm grateful to have it, and as long as I have the knowledge to nurture it, I know what to do with it, and that's the power. I feel like for me right now, having power with my hair and over the stigmatisms of hair. Yes.
Amen to that.
I feel that I'm in a phase of letting go, where before I used to kind of have the power over my hair. I think now I'm just like, okay, hair, you want to fight back. So I give up, you got it. I'm just allowing my hair to be. As we spoke in January, I was in a phase of rekindled love with my hair, of falling back in love with it, and actually wearing my hair right now. These braids have no weave in it. It's just all my hair. And I was confused. I was like, I've never worn braids with just my hair. How is that possible? But I colored it, and it was gorgeous. And then I colored it again, and it wasn't the same color that I originally colored it. And I think I was fighting with that. I had a little bit of disdain, but I said, no, you know what? I'm trying to rule my hair instead of just letting it naturally do what it does, right? Even since getting it recolored, it's now changed between washing it and the environment. So now, my weave doesn't even match my hair. I'm like, okay, I'll just let it do what it wants. I will grow it out. I'll probably recolor it, but I'm at this phase of just letting go and letting hair. I'm gonna let my hair do hair. But I'm excited. I'm enjoying this phase, especially I film. So a lot of times they may put wigs on my head, and I'm not a wig girl. A lot of times they may put heat on my hair, and I'm natural, but I typically only like heat on my hair maybe once every 2 weeks. So it was a bit much for me, but I'm just trying to allow it to have its own journey instead of having so much control and power over it, because I think I've fought with my hair for so long and it's good, it's healthy, it's natural, but I think she's stressed. She's like, girl, let me do me. So.
I love that.
I think for me, my hair is really asking me to treat it right. I feel like, I recently got a new job, and I'm in an environment that's a little bit more tolerant of Black women, and my hair is just like, okay, well, we can be a bit more free now, so what do you want to look like? So I'm trying to embrace that my hair is, as bright as it is, as big as it is, and just letting it be. I also feel like I need to kind of let color just I need to take a break. But I love color so much. It's like, it's so fun.
I know.
So I'm just trying to find a balance because my hair is very much telling me like, treat me right, please. Like, you know. And then I also learned something recently that said if your hair is shoulder length, it carries the last 3 to 6 years of your life. And that includes all the good memories, but all of the traumatic experiences that you've had in the last 3 to 6 years. And I feel like with the pandemic and, you know, going through breakups, going through transitions, it's like, it's still in your hair. So I feel like it might be time for a chop.
So what you're saying is I need to cut my hair.
Yeah, I think it's time just to start.
I love it.
Fresh. Yeah. And I feel like internally it's time for a rebirth and me just embracing more of who I am, and I think that comes with like starting over. And it's a little scary because I also identify with having long hair and just like, you know, being the person with big hair because that's how people recognize me. Because I am super introverted too, but yeah, it's a lot going on, but I think it's all about being healthy and just starting over potentially.
Yeah, I was about to say, Paige, I would love to see your hair short. I don't think I've ever seen it short, but you touched on a very important point, so let's go a little deeper because a few years ago, I was also studying what is stored in our hair strands, right? And actually, this is an area that we are going to evolve to as well, but you're absolutely right. Your hair is the longest record of the internal state of your body. So there is a health analysis that we're going to introduce to the hair strand analysis kit because there's a health analysis that you can do that will tell you the current level of toxins and minerals in your body. Yes. And so I've done mine already. I'm studying the data. The data is very hard to read. So that's the thing that we're going to have to work on the most just from a UI perspective. But it'll tell you, like, you're low in this, you're deficient in this, and that's actually early detection for this chronic illness. Oh, wow. Yes. Or it also told me you need to eat more of this. You need to stop eating dairy. Because I was actually having a lot of scalp issues. Like, my scalp was really dry. I'm going to tell this joke, but my scalp was so dry. I called it like I had frosted flakes. That's how flaky, like it was alarmingly flaky. And I told Robin, I was like, this is abnormal. And you know what the reason was? It's because it was my dairy intake. So again, y'all, all this stuff that's happening with our hair and scalp, don't disregard it. Because it's trying to tell you something. So you're absolutely right about that. And that's going to be how we move into health. But let's talk about mental health, right? Because, you know, psychologically, you're saying, like, okay, whatever you went through in the past few months, that's why I'm in a rebirth phase as well, if you can tell. I went back to, like, a color I previously loved, but also I haven't had my hair straight in a long time either. Because you come into these phases where you want to change because you're letting things go, or just psychologically you want to be in a new place, right? And I love your bold chops. I love that you were able to do that. And I remember seeing your hair that way too. The pixie, the bob, and I just loved it. It was so
Bob
cute.
is so gorgeous.
It is so gorgeous.
Thank
yeah.
you.
It represents
The pixie was beautiful too, but I just
yeah.
recently seen a picture of you like in a red dress with the bob, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
It evokes the boldness and power that you were talking about. So if what you have been going through is in your hair right now, like, in what ways are you seeing that play out? Like, Paige is making you consider a hairstyle change, right? I know for me, I'm ready for a break too. So it's like, okay, I've done straight for a while, but now I'm not as ready to put as much heat on it. So I want more flexibility and things like that. So what is your hair telling you, and like what changes are you considering? And especially with you two, with your careers and being on screen, being at home, like there's a lot to keep up with, it feels like.
Much like Paige, I had long curly hair my whole life and I identified with it, and I think that was a big reason why the
the chop felt good. And as soon as you said that, the 3 to 6 inches, that makes so much sense. I didn't know that fact, but I always say this. When I cut my hair, the first cut, like that was very close to the nape of my neck, I literally felt it, like in my scalp, like release. Like I felt myself like,
Yeah.
literally. And that's the only way I could ever explain it. And I remember telling people that, but now there's a fact that makes sense. So I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm not crazy.
It's not just you.
It really did happen. But yeah, I think right now, it's super important, like Gail was saying, like we're on set a lot and there's always someone in our hair and doing different things, putting different things, time constraints and things like that. And I think for me, it's just important, like she was saying, just to have your own natural hair or keep it in a protective style or take those precautions for your hair because when I first started, they were putting heat on my hair every single day. And I had curly hair and literally my mom is my witness. After them every day putting, she was making like wand curls in my hair every day with a Marcel. So like 2 weeks later, or a week later, maybe, I went to wash my hair. I'm gonna wash my hair for work next week, literally bone straight. Yeah, so I have had so much frustration with my curls and keeping them healthy and nurturing them. So the big chop was a lot for me and it felt like freedom. But right now, I really love what you said, Gail, is like just letting it be. Right now, the state it's in is just the state it's in. And I love accepting that. And I think that's owning it as well. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No,
definitely important.
The both of you really enlightened me with this whole chop of 3 to 6 years. So right now we're currently filming P-Valley. We finish probably December.
Exciting.
I'm chopping my hair when we wrap.
Ooh.
I'm definitely chopping my hair when we wrap because I got about 3 to 6 years I need to get up off me. So I'm going to try this out and see. And I don't mean like a trim. Like, I think I'm going to go probably ear length, probably here.
Ooh.
You know, something I've never done before and just see. Because it's hair. It'll grow back. It'll come back eventually. And I might start over with color. I don't know. I just kind of want to let it do what it wants to do. As you said, too, now my curls wasn't as beautiful and gorgeous and refined as yours, but I do have natural hair. And because of people straightening it on set and work, and because of even before the film industry having to go into a workplace where our natural hair is just not accepted, I straightened it so much and overprocessed it so much. So it's still healthy, but then I don't have a curl pattern. Right. You know, like you wash it and it's just...
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I'm gonna do the big chop.
That would be so cute. Can you reveal it at a hair party first?
I can.
Okay. Because I feel you. I'm so excited about P-Valley coming back, first of all.
Thank you. Yeah, that's exciting.
I
Love
saw-
it. Period.
Gail was like, Candace, don't be mad, but don't watch this episode. I was like, Gail, you're playing your character so well. Don't worry about it.
But can I also say one thing? And Tia knows, when I walked in here, I said, oh my God, Candace colored her hair. I haven't seen this color in forever. So it's really wild that when people see us, our hair greets them before we do.
That's true.
Even when I got my braids, so this is a new style that's going around, it's called the ball braids. And I was really nervous because I thought I was going to look like a little boy. I thought I have to have some hair down or people are going to think, that's why, y'all, I really don't ever wear hoops. I'm like a stud earring girl. But I was like,
it looks
no,
so good
thank
though.
you.
It does.
I was nervous. I just got them done today.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I told you, I seen the back of her head when I came in here. I didn't know who you were, but I said, her braids are fire. And then when I see you, I was like, oh, that's Gail. I love your braids. The first thing I told her. They're so fire.
I was like, this is me allowing my hair to have its own lane instead of controlling it. I'm like, all right, girl, you wanted this shine, you got it. Just don't embarrass us. So that's kind of really where I'm at with my hair, because we do have to have things that are protective styles so when we get to set, they don't like burn our hair out or fry our hair, because Ariana Grande said that when she did the Cat and Kate or whatever her show was, they used to dye her hair so much with the red, and they always did a ponytail. When she finished, her hair was like this. Like, it was so damaged and so bad. And I've worked on a show before, and the hairstylist told me, she said, hey, I don't care about your hair, I care about the character hair. I'm like, that's not gonna work for me. So, because once you leave the show, you still have to go out, and when you're not filming, like on the weekends, you still have to go out with your hair in the world. So, yeah.
So many stories. I mean, yeah, and that was my main question to you. I was like, are they keeping your hair healthy on set? So, yeah, we need some Myavana girls behind the scenes too. So we're gonna talk about that.
Please get into the union, Myavana girls.
Yes, we need to get into the union and save these strands.
Could you remind me what the question was?
Oh, yes.
I got kind of lost in the conversation.
I know. So I was kind of piggybacking off of what you said. What is your hair making you want to do right now? You say you consider cutting it, but in terms of like your day-to-day, especially with your job and your career, because like you say, your hair has a mind of its own, right? But sometimes your hair is an expression of you, so you wanted to cooperate, right? You wanted to, so what is your hair telling you now? And is it like changing your day-to-day regimen at all?
Yes. My hair is really telling me to regulate my nervous system, because just when I was earning my yoga certification, I learned so much about how dysregulated our nervous systems can be and how that shows up physically. So for me, I get gray hairs like crazy. I'll actually start balding in certain places, which I've never told anyone. And my hair feels really brittle, it breaks fast. And then also when I'm super anxious, I'm always touching it and over manipulating it a lot. And so I think it's shown up that way a lot for me. So it's kind of like, if I can be regulated and stick to my spiritual regimen, feel good and take care of my body, my hair will always reflect that. And so it has to be a union outside, externally and internally. So it's just like, take care of yourself. Stop worrying so much.
Yes.
Stop stressing about things that are out of your control. Like, these things are all so interconnected. So I think it's just like, calm down.
Yes,
You're gonna be okay.
I love that. It just reminds me of that mind, body, soul, spirit connection, right? So yeah, we're gonna get more into that. See why the Hair Journey Talk Show is necessary? You don't even be knowing. But thank you for sharing that, Paige. Yeah, and so we're gonna continue these conversations in the Myavana app. So we have our new community rooms, and where people can, where you can join a group based on the stage of your hair journey. So
will there be a big chop community?
Yes, yes. You think about the big chop, go to the big chop room. Let's talk it out. And if you still feel that way, we're going to support you. Okay. But we want to make sure it's not out of frustration, desperation, but really like a choice, right? Is that because a lot of what we hear in the consultations too, we'll hear a lot of people say, I wish I knew Myavana 3 years ago, before I did this. Or sometimes it's just like a rash decision because you just felt that way that day, right? But what I'm trying to say is we're on a journey, right? And it's okay. Whatever stage you're in is okay. Hair journey and life journey is in parallel, right? So that was how we connected when we were at lunch. I was like, girl, you get it, you understand. So that is what Myavana is about as well. Like, powering you through your journey, and we're going to be connecting in the app now. So Soraya is going to be starting her video diary. We're going to be hearing more about these hair conversations, Gail's, as well as your hair changes, right? Because I'm like, okay, what's new? Myavana wants to know, how's your hair doing, girl? Like, and so there's a hair diary feature. And again, we just want to support you at every stage, right? So the last question I want to touch on is more related to self-love now. I love the emphasis on self-care. Myavana is about empowering you to be your best self, and care comes first, right? But we need a little love too, right? Like, I feel like I've been in this stage of just renewing self-love and not neglecting myself. Obviously, running a company, growing a company is not easy, and it's very easy to put yourself on the back burner. So what would your hair say about your self-love right now? And I know, Soraya, your new music is centered on this. So I know if there's anything you wanted to touch on as well. And I'm just happy we can talk about it, right? Like, sometimes you just need to get it out. So what's self-love? What is a self-love journey for you like right now?
I feel for me, my self-love journey is tied and equally connected with my hair, which is crazy. But since I've colored it, my self-love has increased volumes. I mean, I've always loved me now. Come on.
And what do you think that's about?
It's just, you know how you have a new anything, new car,
new energy, new air,
new house, anything new, fresh, new nails, new hairdo. It's just, it's self-discovery of finding more things to love about yourself in more ways. And once I colored my hair, I just looked at myself through a different lens. You know, it's like so many times they tell couples, like, you have to continue to fall in love with each other. And when I got it colored, I was like, I started looking at myself differently, as well as others, and they were vocal about it. And I was just so proud and so happy. So I'm discovering new things about myself, even with it growing out, like what it looks like when I cut it, what it looks like with the roots growing out, what it looks like with a new color on it, what it looks like as the sun and the water is changing it. So I'm just discovering different ways to love myself and different ways to see myself. It also makes me want to, now that my hair, because it's healthy, I'm like, okay, same as Paige said, I need to get the rest of my body healthy. So starting to love working out, starting to love, like, okay, maybe I need to stay away from bread. Maybe I need to stay away from that milk, that dairy, that ice cream. It looked so good. But I was like,
in moderation. That's what I tell myself. Everything in moderation.
You're right. I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay.
We don't really know moderation. But I do feel that my self-love is tied to my hair. And I know that it always shows, even if other people can't see it. Like, with this color, I do see myself taking care of it more, being more tender with it, being more mindful of it. But that, in totality, brings me back to myself. Like, okay, I need to not do this or do that.
I love that.
I would kind of piggyback off of Gail. I would say that my self-love, I'm just thinking about my young self. Oh God, I just literally saw my young self. My self-love was always been so tied to my freaking hair. And, you know, that brings a lot of frustration sometimes, a lot of not feeling adequate or not feeling pretty at times. And I've been through it with my hair. And I think right now, like I said earlier, for me, it's just about, like, actually, like you said, just embracing where it's at. And I feel like that is kind of linear with my life as well, myself as well. Just embracing where I'm at this time, the present moment. If I have a straight strand, she just straight. What do I got to do today? You know, I'm not going to worry about it. And I feel like that's been my practice lately, is just embracing the present moment. And because that's all we have, worrying about anything else is absolutely can drive you crazy. So for me right now, it's very much in tune with where I am excuse me, where I am in life, which is embracing what is.
Yes.
And having fun with it, right? And right now I do press my hair out, and that's something I've never really done my whole life, but I'm like, I'm wearing a bob. Okay, cool. Like, this is what I'm doing right now. And if at any moment I want to say I want my curls back, then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to embrace seeing that straight part grow out and my curls come back. And so I think it's just about having patience with the process and loving yourself through the process. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
I love that. Yeah, have to be intentional about it. Yeah.
I would say, I think so I came across a book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I don't know if anyone has read it or has heard of it, but there's a doctor who wrote it, and he's really specializing in creating new neural pathways. And so it's really about examining your behaviors and your habits and your thoughts and just creating new ones that are aligned with who you are. And I think for me, my hair is a part of that because there's internalized messaging that we all have taken in by the media, also by white supremacy. Sorry, I gotta say it. It influences all of our lives so much. So it's really just coming to a point where you get to decide for yourself, like, what is my view of me, my hair, my thoughts, my patterns, where I want to be, who I want to be around. And so it's just, being really honest about how you've been impacted, literally journaling and writing these things out because it helps you process, and putting in healthier messages. And I think that makes a huge difference too. So something like really simple that you can do like before you go to bed is listening to affirmations, or when you wake up in the morning, like go in the mirror and just tell yourself that I love you. Like, yes. I don't do that, but I want to do it more. But those are like little things that you can do. It takes 5 minutes out of your day that'll really make a huge impact. So
I love that. Wow, that was all beautiful. Thank you, ladies. We have to be reminded sometimes. Yeah. And so we're going to have more conversations like this in our virtual hair club, because, again, the community aspect of Myavana has just been so rich and empowering lately, and it just shows us that people are wanting to connect. Yeah. And people may not necessarily have the outlets or the friends, right? Because I've also heard a lot, the older you get, it's hard to maintain those friend connections or just have, safe space to open up as you're evolving, right? Because I think that's what you're saying. Breaking the habit of being yourself is not falling into old patterns. When you're trying to create new ones and you see like the North Star of who you're becoming, and you want to continue in that direction and not digress, right? So it's intentional, and you just have to be intentional about it. So that's what the Myavana essence is for me. That's the energy we want to bring to our community, our tribe. So I'm happy to have you all a part of that. And we'll have more conversations like this in our app. And yeah, it's just the beginning of a new era. So thank you for being a part of this, Soraya. Thank you, Gail, for being there from the beginning, literally. Also, that picture you all saw when I came to LA and met Melissa, I actually stayed with Gail. I was like, Gail, she had just moved out there, in her journey becoming an actress. And I was like, Gail, we had this event, and I think it's time for us to start reaching new markets, blah, blah, blah. I ended up staying with her for like a week. My laptop crashed. Everything that tried to go wrong went wrong, and still had to show up. And she showed up with me, and it was amazing.
Candace is being coy. She said she went to a PWI. She went to the Georgia Tech.
Yes.
And we helped move her into her dorm.
She sure did.
I still have the picture, and Stacy was there.
Stacy, shout out to Stacy.
Yes, and Jewel, and we all moved Candace into her dorm. And I mean, basically,
and now we're back.
Our degree, we shared.
Exactly.
So I went here too.
It was a joint effort. Okay, it takes a village. Didn't I tell y'all that in the beginning? Listen, you don't get out of tech alone. Okay. And so yes, again, it means so much. The love is empowering itself. And yeah, we just want Myavana to be that place to be. And you personify that for me as well. And Paige, thank you. Paige literally been there from the beginning as well. I had to put her to work a few times. But I think, you have grown into a woman of your own. And it's really amazing to see that. This is Lil Paige, y'all. Y'all know that, right? Who's now, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say that anymore. I told her I'm not going to use any more old nicknames. But again, it's just seeing you evolve and becoming the woman you are today is amazing and beautiful as well. And we want to hear more hair journey stories. We want to hear the changes. We want to hear, because obviously, again, every hairstyle has a story. So thank you, ladies. Now we're going to celebrate. We're going to have fun. Thank you for joining us today at our first ever Beauty Tech Summit. Okay, so this is the legendary one. This is the groundbreaking one. Right back where I started at Georgia Tech, researching right on this hallway back here, struggling, wondering if I was going to make it. Keeping hope alive every day. And now we're back. So thank you all. We're going to have fun. We're going to celebrate now. Make sure you get some good food. Make sure you get some good drinks. Shout out to all of our catering vendors. We're going to take pictures. So what's next? What's next for Myavana? So our next stop is Essence Festival in New Orleans. We are actually activating with P&G, My Black is Beautiful. So this will be our first joint activation at Essence. Shout out to Essence because we have done Essence Festival for going on 6 years. And it was like every time Myavana needed a push, I got an email from Essence saying, hey, are you available for Essence Festival this year? Absolutely. Absolutely. So they gave us space in their beauty bungalow, which is the VIP suite. And that's how we made a lot of relationships. That's how I met LaToya, which led to our first group of ambassadors. And again, relationships are everything. So we're heading back to New Orleans, and we want Myavana to now blossom in the market. So we're going to have hair parties every weekend. Just stay tuned. We're going to be announcing it on our page, building community, rolling out our technology through salons, retailers, certifying products in the lab with Myavana, sharing new education with our healthy hair experts, bringing social impact to communities that need it, and growing globally. So, I mean, we're taking over, and it's established, and I'm just happy to do it with all of you. So thank you for being here. It's time to celebrate, have fun. It's our anniversary. And thank you so much again. Any other closing remarks before we turn the music up? Thank you to our production team. I want to thank you to everyone. Thank you to our DJ. Thank you to our amazing production team who brought this whole event together. Thank you for believing in my bold vision. I told you we were going somewhere, so thank you for just staying with me and continuing on the journey. Shout out to Team Myavana. Shout out to everyone who was a part of our panels today. And again, I'm so excited. So yeah, this is just the beginning. I feel like we're just warming up, so I'm really excited. And again, thank you so much for sharing this special day with us.